Hi everyone and welcome to this live webinar. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you're having a great week so far. My name is Neelie Verlinden. I'm here with Erwin, vink. We will be introducing ourselves to you in just a moment. But before we do so, I have a little bit of housekeeping to get out of the way. If during this session you have a question, you have a thought, you want to share your own experience, please feel free to do so with us in the chat. As I said, we are live, so the beauty of this is that we can have an actual interaction with all of you, so don't be shy and use the chat. In fact, if you could perhaps say hi in the chat or let us know where you're watching from, that would be great, because that way we have a way to know if everything is working correctly. All right, that's it for the housekeeping, so I guess that was pretty fast. So welcome again to this webinar by BrynQ. AI in action, that's what we're going to be doing today. And yeah, let's hear a little bit more from ourselves, so from Erwin and from me. Erwin, I think maybe you can introduce yourself first.
Yeah, and of course, to stay in the right realm, the AI realm, I decided to let myself introduce by AI. So I will go to ChatGPT, and I will ask ChatGPT to introduce me to the audience of this webinar.
Nice.
That's a little bit for me as well. Give me some nerves because I don't know what it's gonna say, but ChatGPT does know a lot about me. So we're gonna see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start a chat with ChatGPT. Hi there, do you hear me?
Hey there, I can hear you loud and clear. How's it going?
Hi, nice that you can hear me. Can you please introduce me for webinar audience? The webinar is about AI and how to use it in HRM, and I want to that you introduce me to this audience. Who am I, and what do they need to know from me?
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Let me introduce you to Erwin. He's an expert in both AI and HRM integrations. He's got a wealth of experience building interfaces between systems, and he's really passionate about using AI to make HR processes smoother and more efficient. So you're definitely in good hands with him today.
Well, thank you. That's very flattering. I'm happy with the introduction. Can you maybe tell something to the audience about just a funny fact about me, what is good to know?
Sure thing. All right, everyone, a fun fact about Erwin. Not only is he super tech savvy, but he's also an ultra runner and a triathlete, which means he's got endless energy and determination. So if anyone can keep you engaged and informed, it's definitely him.
Well, I couldn't have done that better myself. That's really flattering, but yeah, that's me, I would say, in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Erwin. Yes, my name, as I said, is Neelie Verlinden. I've been speaking, podcasting, and writing a lot about topics related to HR and the world of work for the past 10 years. It's been an absolute joy to do these kinds of things, and so I'm very happy to be here with you, with Erwin, and with ChatGPT today. All right. Yes, this webinar is it actually is the follow-up from a webinar that Erwin and myself got to do a couple of months ago, which was also about AI and HR. And some of the feedback that we received was about if it was possible for us to make things a little bit more practical. And as one should do, I think, with feedback is not only listen to it, but also act upon it. And so that is how this second webinar came to be. So that is what we will be doing today. We asked you beforehand if you had any questions or topics that you would like us to be talking about today, which was great. Thank you very much for that. So we will be talking about those. Yeah, so I think we can show you today's journey or the agenda on the next slide. Yes. So here you see some of the questions that we received. How can HR in general benefit from AI? Then there's a question about how can AI contribute to employee and customer satisfaction. There's also a question about how you can use it for leadership development. And then the last one that we will be talking about, that's already prepared, because you are, of course, welcome to add your own questions as well during the session. The last one that we will be talking about a little bit is how can AI contribute to the reduction of the workforce? So those are the questions that we'll be talking about, Erwin and I. We will be showing you a lot of things because that's the whole purpose of this session. Before we do so, however, Erwin, I think we can maybe start with what is a GPT? How does it work, right?
Yeah. Because when you do not have a clue about what it is doing, it can be looking like magic, and you can misuse it quite easily. So it's good to have an idea about what is it in a nutshell. And to make that very clear, I asked AI to give me an exercise where we can make it clear what is a large language model doing actually. So in this exercise, you have an example in mind, and we do it in 3 phases. In the first phase, you just give me 3 words, and I'm gonna guess what the next word is, because that is what a large language model basically is doing. It gets some words and it predicts just the next word. The second round, you give me 1 sentence, and I'm gonna predict where the case is about. And in the last round, you give me the full explanation about the situation and then what my answer will be. And after each round, you say if I'm correct, yes or no. And after the exercise, what will be clear immediately is the less content you give, likely the more errors I make. The more content you give, the better I am in predicting what you want to hear. And that's exactly what a large language model is doing. I'm going to do it together with ChatGPT, so I will guess myself and then check if ChatGPT can guess it, what you want to say.
All right.
And we'll see if the both of us can guess what it is about. So round 1 is for you.
All right. I'll give you 3 words.
You give me just 3 words.
All right. So the first 3 words are I have an.
I have an camper.
Could have been, but no.
Oh, let me see. That's a no. So I have an. And ChatGPT said, could you please finish your sentence?
Yes,
so
yes.
He says
I'll finish the sentence.
Yeah.
So I have an employee's work anniversary coming up.
And you maybe want to know what to give?
Yeah, partially correct, I would say.
Partially correct.
Yeah.
Let me see. I have, wait, I'm going to talk with ChatGPT. I have an employee anniversary coming up. Let me see if ChatGPT can guess it better. Oh. But you see already, you gave somewhat more context.
Yeah.
And I was partially correct, but still,
Yeah.
partially correct is mostly totally off. So there is no value in what I say, but you see more words, it makes it easier for me to predict what is coming.
Yeah.
It's so obvious,
Yeah.
but once you realize you see it, and then, ChatGPT said, good, how do you want to handle it? It's diving into immediately.
How do you want to?
Handle it.
Oh, okay.
It said how many years, what's the role and the impact. So ChatGPT does already ask for more information.
Yeah. I finished my...
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Round
So
2.
I have an employee's work anniversary coming up. I'm looking for ways to celebrate it. Could you please give me 5 ideas to celebrate this work anniversary?
You're going to ask me for 5 ideas. This is going to be hard. Go to the beach, go running with each other, do a triathlon with each other, just have some drinks and playing a game. But that's what I say. But yeah, that's just an advice. Maybe it was even better if I asked what kind of employee it is. What does she or he like?
Yeah, you could.
What,
Yeah.
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 Can you? Well, let's see what ChatGPT is giving.
Yep.
This employee is. I want to have 5. Sorry, that was wrong. I did start wrong. Can you give me 5 ideas how we can celebrate this anniversary? And then ChatGPT comes with 5 sharp ideas. Whatever.
Yeah.
You get the idea?
Yes.
This is what a large language model basically is. It's predicting what is coming logically next after it got some input.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was, I hope, well, let us know if you disagree or if you agree in the chat, of course, with this, but I do think that this was quite a cool way of showing how a language model works. It also shows the importance of context, among other things. We will be talking about that a little bit later as well, but yeah, thank you, Erwin, for this example. In the meantime, if you have any questions already, please feel free to share them. We will be checking the chat regularly, and then we can answer your questions. All right, now we are going to go to one of the questions that we received from you, and that's the first one. So, how can HR benefit from generative AI? Well, this is, as you may imagine, it's quite a large question. I think there's a lot of different ways in which we can answer the question, and there's also a lot of examples that we can give. So what I will say is this, that generally speaking, and Erwin, please let me know if you agree or disagree with me, of course, but the main benefit of using Gen AI effectively is that it's great for streamlining processes and also for automating certain elements of workflows, which makes you gain time, and you can then spend that time on other things. So this is in general, of course, the case. If we now look more specifically into various parts of the employee life cycle, as you can see here on the slide as well, for instance, recruitment and hiring and onboarding, training and development, there are again, a lot of different examples of how HR can benefit from using generative AI. But an example, for instance, in recruitment and hiring is that it can help you create compelling job descriptions. It can also help you get ideas for interview questions, just like we in the example just got some ideas to celebrate an employee's work anniversary. You can also use it to generate ideas for interview questions, of course. It can also go through candidate data and see how they might or might not match with the vacancies that you have. And these are just a few of the examples in this specific space. Erwin, feel free to interrupt me, whenever you want to add something or whatsoever. Then we go to onboarding. In onboarding, what generative AI can do and what companies are already doing is that they have these virtual, I would say, onboarding buddies. So they really guide new hires through part of the onboarding process. New hires can answer, they can ask them questions, and then this virtual chatbot can, of course, answer those questions for them, can guide them through the process. And what we know about onboarding, as you probably know as well, is that this is a very crucial period for new hires in the company. And often the onboarding period is a make or break for people in whether or not they decide to stay with the company after their onboarding. So this can be really, really helpful. And it can also be really positive for people in the team that are actually tasked with the onboarding of new hires, because rather than having to answer, for instance, the same questions over and over again, they don't have to do that anymore, which will probably also improve their satisfaction with the job that they're doing.
One question about it. I know we're going to dive in live examples later in this webinar, just in a few minutes. Onboarding is not one of them, so I maybe gonna ask you an unprepared question. But do you maybe know some tools, and we can also share later tools which can help with onboarding? Because I think when you're onboarding a new hire is quite expensive, I think.
Can be, yes.
So if your onboarding is improved and you can keep people longer in the company, that's most often quite beneficial.
100%, yes. And there are also some quite, I would say shocking, maybe that's a little bit too strong, but there are some quite, let's say, interesting statistics as well about how many people rate their onboarding experience as not satisfying, and also about how many people already decide during their onboarding that they want to leave the company, actually. So yes, onboarding is indeed very important. There are a lot of providers these days of onboarding software and onboarding tools. One that comes to mind is, it was called Talmundo. They are very much into onboarding and also offboarding, and I believe that they're now a part of Talent Tech. So that's just one example. And I mean, I am personally a very big fan of human onboarding bodies, but this is not always possible, or maybe the two can go hand in hand. But I think this virtual onboarding body system can be really, really helpful, both for the new hires and again also for the onboarding team. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and I'm curious if there are they use AI, I think, as
yes.
well. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a quick step out, because otherwise we will run out of time.
Exactly.
So
okay, yeah, let's continue.
Yeah.
All right, so another example we can find in training and development. So here, as you may know, what can this do here? It can look at performance data from people, it can look at their skill set, it can look also at their aspirations, and based on that, it can come with customized learning recommendations. So that's an example of how it can be used in learning and development. And another, I think, interesting way of how you can use it in learning and development is that it can, again, go through existing trainings and see how and where they need updating in order for the organization to stay compliant. And I think that can be a really interesting use case in learning and development. Now, then, what we have, I need to have a quick look at my, okay, yes, obviously, you can use it for policy and document generation. It can be really helpful for that. This is something that we will be talking about with Erwin, so I'm not going to say too much about this. And then the last one, of course, is you can use it as well to analyze large data sets. And then what it can do, it can discover patterns, it can discover trends, and based on that, you can make more informed decisions. So these are just a few examples of how it can benefit HR. Again, we can talk about that probably for days. But what we will do now, or what Erwin is actually going to talk about, is I would probably say a key element, and that is the importance of knowing how to ask the right prompts, knowing how to prompt, I should say. So we are going to look at that. We're going to look, as you can see, a little bit at policies as well, and more. So let's start with the prompts first, Erwin. I think we have a nice image that goes with that as well. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, maybe good as a disclaimer, there are a lot of AI tools. In this webinar, we're basically sticking to ChatGPT, but you have Claude, you have Copilot, there is Gemini from Google. There are
Mistral.
a lot of Mistral from Europe, don't forget that one.
Yeah.
Which is getting better and better.
Yeah.
The idea of most AI tools is the same. They use the same technology under the hood, but there are differences. So that's important to say. Just to keep it simple, we stick to ChatGPT in this webinar. Most ideas you can just use in other models as well. What is important in ChatGPT is when you choose in the chat your model, you can choose for several models. And most people are using GPT 4.0 by default. But you, for example, can also use O3. And most people are thinking, what's the difference between the models? What can it do for me? Why should I switch from model? It's important to know, I think in a month or 3 or 4, there will be coming ChatGPT 5, and it will automatically select the right model for you. But until that time, it's good to know what the different models are doing. GPT 4.0 is good for just writing and daily tasks. Not too extensive, quite simple. You throw an email in it and just want an answer. You have a short question about something. O3, when the O is up front, is more for deep research and reasoning. That's a model which can think under the hood, is discussing with itself. We'll show in this demo as well. But that's important to know. So 4.0, the newer one, the 4 is somewhat simpler. O3 is much more complex, but takes more time. Well, why this is important to say, I have in the PowerPoint an example of how a prompt looks like for O3, which is the most powerful model at the moment. And you can use this one in other models as well, like Gemini and Claude. There this works as well. So you start with giving your goal, like I want to finish a policy about sick leave. That's an example I've prepared. Or I want to know if the direction we are going with HR in this case is correct. Then you supply the return format, and the return format is just how you would like to have it. Normally it can be text, like you want to have one big document, but maybe you say I only want to have an index for a file. Or if you're coding, you can give it in a certain format. Or you say I want to have it in 3 different parts. So that's the second part. You give some warnings about what is important to know for the model. So let's say if you say, I'm writing the sick leave policy, then it's maybe good that the model as well, you're a part of a collective labor agreement. The model should be aware. So it's a warning like, take care that you always take in mind that there is a collective labor agreement should be applied in this policy. And then the context. And the context can be really huge. You can just talk for a very long time. That's what I do. I talk always to the chat. You can throw in documents. You can throw in images. And that's basically the prompt structure. And if you keep the structure, that will definitely improve your output. I have read articles about it and seen tests that or you just ask a question, or you keep the structure, that's giving a huge difference in output and in reliability of the model.
All right.
The last two, the purple part is capability. That's more for coders. I will keep that now out of the equation. So once more, goal. What is the end goal? Return format. How should it look like? Some warnings, and then you have the context.
Yes. Perhaps just a question from my side, Erwin, here then, for instance, with the context, because I think you said you can then, of course, also add documents or whatever you want. Anything we need to bear in mind when we upload documents, especially if they are, for instance, company documents in terms of data security?
Yeah, that's a good one. So in the last webinar, we also tackled this topic. For OpenAI, for example, but also for cloud, there are different kinds of licenses. So you have also licenses for companies. And within those licenses, there are agreements with companies where they point out that the data will be kept within your company and not will be sent to OpenAI. It's good to take note of that yourself. So if you use your personal license, just for you personally, then definitely the data is not kept within Europe or within your company. So especially sensitive information from employees or company information, you definitely need another type of license. For the real big enterprises, you can just make agreements with the companies like Mistral or with OpenAI, but Mistral in Europe is the best that you have your model on-premise. But that's quite expensive. That's going about tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's, for most companies, a little bit too much, but there are possibilities for that. But overall, check your license and take care that it is a license which is an enterprise license, where it's noted that your data is not shared. Yeah.
Okay. Clear. Well, perhaps look at an example then of AI in action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Like I said, I prepared something for a policy, a sick leave policy in this case. I think more than 11 years ago now, I was an HRM consultant myself. I have written sick leave policies, and that was something which took weeks or months maybe to investigate everything, to read your CLA, to check the history of the company, to whatever, do all the stuff, check the laws, go to some workshops to get updated with everything. So there was quite an extensive process. And I just thought this morning, we prepared this webinar earlier, but I thought, let's do it this morning just to prove the point that even writing a sick leave policy is something you can do in a day. So I'm going to switch to ChatGPT. There I prepared a chat here because what I have here in information is way too much to do live in a webinar because it took around 10 minutes to investigate. Yeah. I've said to ChatGPT, I said, I'm writing a sick leave policy for a company in the Netherlands. Would you gather all the relevant laws for the company? So ChatGPT asked me 3 questions, and about what kind of company is it, how much employees do you have, and do you have non-Dutch employees working on the Dutch contracts? And then it started searching. And can we go to the... I saw that was not exactly. Yes, so the PowerPoint was in the way. So short recap, I asked the question about I want to write a policy to ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT came along with 3 clarifying questions. And then it gave me a lot of information about Dutch sick leave laws and rules. I haven't checked them too good because it was just this morning. But just to prove the point, we have some colleagues here, we have a lot of colleagues here doing legal advisory in the topic of payroll. And I know that when they use the O3 model, they say it's almost always correct in what it is saying. 4.0 is different case, like that's the one for daily task, but O3 is quite reliable, is doing an extensive internet search. That's what it did here as well. So I have my research is done basically. So that's something I have prepared up front, and now I want to write the prompt to create an index for this policy. Yes. One tip, I always use the transcribe button here. You can see it on my screen. I see most people are typing. speaking is 6 times faster than typing. I'm a quite fast typer because I work all the day with code, but even for me it's 6 times faster than typing.
Yeah.
And for ChatGPT, it doesn't matter if it's the grammar is a little bit incorrect. So you can just record it. So that's what I will do.
Yeah.
I start with the goal. My goal is to create an index for a sick leave policy, only the index. I don't need the policy by now. I want you to give the chapters and the paragraphs and write an introduction text. The format should be just the index. Warnings are not applicable. It's good for you to know. We have a company with around 150 employees. We are working in payroll and data analysis. Most people are just office workers, and we need to have an updated sick leave policy because we have more people now, and it's good to be clear for everyone. Until this very moment, we have a sick leave policy, but it's just slowly, gradually upgraded throughout the years, and it's good to have just a total reset and start with a fresh policy, which is clear for everyone. Can you create this index for me? Of course, I give some more information when I talk than when I type. Here you have the text. It's now here. And I can just send it here.
Yeah.
And I think it's the model 03, which is thinking now. You can see it on the screen. It is thinking. 4.0 would immediately start typing. And you can even see what it is thinking. So I need to structure the document and boom, it's done. So here's the index of the document. I will do one extra question because that's maybe good for people who are writing policies. The reason why I start with an index is you have structure. I can easily change the structure. I can see here now if I miss something or maybe it's too extensive. But when I start writing right away, it's a huge amount of text and it's quite hard for me even to check, hey, is everything in it? Do I miss parts? So that's the reason why I start with an index. And what is really good, the model itself does have a structure where it can work alongside. So I see it does have 13 chapters. For example, let's say that chapter 13 about monitoring is not relevant, or dispute resolution is something we do not do here. So I can just easily say remove chapter 12 and 13, of course. What I will do now is just ask, can you write chapter 2.1? Keep in mind that it should be in line with all the other chapters. And of course it will now start with chapter 2.1, and 2.1 is about legalistic things, I think, civil code. One of the things I could do here is as well saying, well, this is really all formal. This is a technical document. Can you make it more employee friendly? That's something I am thinking of now when I'm reading this. So that would definitely something I would ask if I would write it. But let's see what it is creating now. Oh, it's still thinking.
Yeah, so maybe this is a good time to quickly see if there are any questions.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know, but maybe there are, and then we can actually go to some of those in the meantime.
No, not
No?
yet.
All right, then we just see whatever it's coming up with.
Yeah, it's creating the chapter, the paragraph. It was 2.1, and it's even creating subparagraphs. And what I see now, for example, is I see a lot of subparagraphs. That's hard to read. So one of the things I would do maybe in my initial is go back to my initial prompt, where I give the in this prompt I gave the format, and I could say, well, change the format and make it more employee friendly and less paragraphs. So change the format, make it more employee friendly. It's way too technical now. And use less paragraphs for readability. And the funny thing is that I see that I'm start typing now.
I was going to ask you, I was like, is there a specific reason that you're typing now and the first time you were actually dictating?
All right. No, it's not the first time, but what I see is very often I think, oh, this is just 3 words. And then I start typing, and then while I'm typing, I think, hey, that's more.
Yeah.
It's very hard. That's what I noticed, to change your way of work.
Yeah.
It's really hard to change the pattern you have in such a thing. Anyways, I think that about policy. It's just grasping on the concept. Because of the time, we cannot go too deep into it.
No, but I think very interesting to keep in mind here is the structure that you showed us. I think it's also very interesting what you
On the screen
mentioned.
now for once more, just for the people.
Yeah, exactly. That is, I think, very helpful. I think this is great. I would definitely invite everyone, if you're not doing it already, to just start experimenting with it. And also, I think it's very good to know what you were telling us about O3 and 4.0, and that for now, anyway, you should use them for different purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I think
definitely.
that's already good to know. Again, if you have any questions for Erwin about this, please feel free to share them with us in the chat. And then, there was something else that exactly we wanted to talk about, which is, I mentioned earlier that one of the big advantages, of course, of using generative AI is that it helps you streamline processes and helps you gain time. One example of this is your email management. I think we all, well, maybe not all, but a lot of people still spend a lot of time managing their emails. So, Erwin, I think you came across at least one handy tool, right?
Sure.
So maybe you can show us a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I did, of course, I thought, what can I start with? Oh, wait, let me ask ChatGPT what I can do to automate my email or make it more efficient. So I had a conversation with ChatGPT about email management. Quite a long conversation, and there were a lot of tips here about mastering email overload. But the funny thing is, you can use AI to automatically answer your emails, but you can also use AI to audit how you work with your email. If I tell AI how I work with my email, like I have notifications on, for example, or I'm looking every hour, and you can ask, is that a good method to work with email?
Yeah.
It can even question you questions, like you can say, give me a set of questions about my email behavior and show me where I can improve. That's definitely a first start.
Yeah.
So you don't need to automate there. And for example, I have here a very long answer based on my behavior, but maybe for the audience it's very good for you. Just start ChatGPT, ask it, can you ask me a set of questions to audit my email behavior? That will definitely help you.
Yeah. Nice prompt.
Yeah. I have another one, also in ChatGPT. There's an email teacher. And what this one does is it checks every email I send. I can throw into this email. Wait, I'm going to show.
Yes, please.
I have the PowerPoint on, I see. I have a chat here with, I call it email teacher. This is a custom GPT. What this basically is you can create an instructed GPT. So whenever I start talking with it, there is already a very long instruction behind it. And I can say, for example, hi team, we are, I will just talk again, say, next Friday we have a meeting. I want you to prepare it and read the agenda very well. If you have extra point, please email it to me. And I want to also talk about the friction there is in the team. It's going to be a chaos, and we have to fix it. Just an example to put it in an email. I give this to this teacher, and this is instructed to check my email and rate it on 10 points and give a number. So clarity is a 6. Language simplicity is a 5. Conciseness is a 5. Well, all in all, it will... tone and professionalism a 4. Structure and organization a 4. So it will check my email on this 6 or 10 points. And then I can easily say it's a 5 out of 10. Create an improved email with an informal tone of voice, for example. So I say A. And then it will now create a new improved email. This is not auto-answering my emails. It's still keeping my tone of voice. It is aware of the situation because it's based on the first draft I have drafted. But saves me time, and very often I got wonderful emails. I think we will share the link of this GPT in the webinar, in the emailing afterwards, so other people can use it as well.
Fantastic.
Then there was the tool, very quick. This is Cora.computer. I think it's visible on the screen.
Yeah.
My internet is having issues. It's only working for Gmail by now. Outlook will come later. But this tool is much better than Copilot by now. It's released a few weeks ago, and the reviews were quite good. It's checking your whole email box, learning your way of writing, getting a lot of context, and then it will automatically create drafts for you for emails which are in your inbox always. So there will be always a draft. People can just visit Cora.computer. It's just one of the tools. There are more, but I think this is one of the best ones I've found. And in the website itself, you can find information about privacy, etc.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, we are going, the time is just flying by, I see.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the next question that we got from you. And that was, how can AI contribute to the increase of customer, or in our case, employee satisfaction? We can be quite brief about that because it's another large question. I think pretty much all of the examples that we mentioned when we were answering the first question, they will automatically increase employee satisfaction. For instance, if you have this virtual onboarding buddy, new hires are likely to be more satisfied, as will your onboarding team, and so that will then be positively impacting how satisfied employees are. The same thing goes for the learning and development example that I was talking about. If people get custom training suggestions and they are indeed satisfied with those, that will also lead to an improved happiness. So there are countless examples here of how generative AI can help with that. Yes. Erwin, is there anything you would like to add here?
Yeah, so the question was coming from the customer satisfaction point of view, I
Yes.
think, and of course it's going about employee satisfaction. There are two things you can do, which was coming immediately to mind. The first one is your employee survey. The results of that can be really good analyzed by AI. If you just, you're always biased when you read such, especially the open remarks. Negative comments draws your attention more than positive comments, etc. So what we did is we throw the whole employee survey within AI, and there were really cool findings in it, like trends you can see, and some things we have overlooked. So that's one thing. If you have an employee survey, just analyze it yourself, but also throw it in ChatGPT and then O3, and it can analyze it really good.
Wow. And so it actually uncovered some of the things that you hadn't uncovered yet.
Sure.
That is cool. Yeah.
And what it did, I asked ChatGPT sometimes to store some things in its memory, so it knows about our company now. When I'm questioning ChatGPT about how should I solve this, how should I do this, it knows now about the background of employee satisfaction, which is also really cool.
Yeah. And the second thing?
Yeah, there was another tool I want to show. There are more tools like this. This is just an example, but just to inspire people. This is a voice AI agent, vapi.ai, and you can instruct it like you want. They have a version on their website. I can just talk to Vapi, and we'll see what it's going to say.
Yeah.
Welcome to Vapi. I'm an assistant that you can talk to like a person. So, how's your day going?
Well, my day is going very well, and I'm curious if I can use you for employee satisfaction. What do you think?
I'd love to dive into using Vapi for employee stuff, but before I do, would you mind telling me how you found out about Vapi?
I just found Vapi on X, Twitter. Is that okay for you? Can you now please answer my question?
Thanks. Vapi can definitely help with employee stuff. You can build voice assistants for HR, onboarding, support, and more. Want to tell me a bit more about what you're thinking?
No, thank you. This was enough for now. This agent is just instruct. You can instruct it yourself. You can there are use cases, workflows you can just totally set up yourself, and you can use it even on a phone. So you can call to a number. It can call people itself. But for example, for sick leave, if you have a number where people have to report their sick leaves, you can put an agent behind it, and it can be really helpful in the first steps. You heard it, onboarding, whatever.
Yeah.
This agent itself is instructed to always ask where do you get the information from, because I tested it before and it was very stubborn.
Yeah.
But just an example.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. All right, we are going to go to a third question, which means that we will be going almost right back to you, Erwin, because this one was about empowering leadership development through AI. I think it's a great question. Part of that will lie in, again, analyzing performance data and giving custom advice, but this time for leadership development. But, Erwin, I know that you have also been asking ChatGPT questions about your personal development, right?
Yeah.
Which, in a way, we can also perceive as a way of leadership development if you know how to use it, right? And if you know what to ask it. So I would say let's dive in again.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen again.
Yes, please.
Some background information, good to know. I did some personality tests, trainings, etc., and I put them all in ChatGPT. I gave them to ChatGPT with the question, can you please save them in your memory? So ChatGPT does know a lot about me. About my character, and I just do that for testing. I want to know, is it good, yes or no? So the question I'm gonna ask now can be answered because ChatGPT knows about my profile, knows a lot about my history, etc.
Yeah, it has a lot of context.
Yeah,
we
it
can
had
say.
a lot of context about me. Can you please show me my strengths and weaknesses as a leader in my team? I'm just curious if what I possibly miss and what I cannot see there, and I also want a plan how to solve those problems, and especially the weaknesses I have as a leader. Because of the context, it's not needed for ChatGPT to give it more information. This is also a little bit
interesting
for me as well. I know sometimes what it is saying, but it can also always give things that I think, oh wow, that's new for me.
Yeah.
This is life, so
which is very brave.
Yeah. So 3 strengths are: I'm vision-driven and inspirational, strategic and innovative thinker, and executed under pressure is a strength for me. Oh, it's saying even more. It's giving me 5 points. So thanks ChatGPT, good for my self-esteem. Weaknesses, inconsistent anchoring of initiatives. So I start with something but then forgot to finish. Hyper-independence and reluctance to ask for help. Difficulty trusting slower or weaker team members. Well, those are things which are really hard. I see them now and I think some of them are known to me, but some of them are like, ouch.
Yes.
And the cool thing is I'm not going one by one through them, but it's giving as well a plan. It can even give a 30-day plan, for example. If I say, please give me a 30-day plan for day by day some exercises I should do to tackle my weaknesses, it will create a plan for me, as you can imagine. We have 1 minute left, so we'll keep it hereby, but just for inspiration, you can check.
Fantastic. Well, maybe we can see if there have been any questions in the meantime.
Yeah, let me.
And then if there are no questions, no, well then we can maybe see a little bit of the 30-day plan that it's going to prepare for you.
Yeah. So in week 1, I need to own the pattern. I have to stop ignoring my weaknesses. As if I'm doing. What is this? I have to write down the failure loop in day 1. Day 2, audit unfinished initiatives. Day 3, ask for help for a small ask. Whoa, those things are just great.
But very concrete actions.
Yeah,
so
very concrete actions.
I think this can definitely be very helpful.
Yeah.
Then we can very briefly, because I see we are almost out of time, go to the final question that we received, which was how can AI contribute to the reduction of the workforce? There's a lot again that we can say about this.
What we will do is share a link in the notes, because there are sources which show with inspiration as well how you can use AI for to make things more efficient. And we will share it in the notes.
Absolutely.
That's the best we can do now.
Yeah, that's the best we can do, definitely. So and then we can continue to the next. Yeah, exactly. If you want to learn more about AI and how to use it and work with it, there are some really great trainings that you can check out. You have the link here. We will share this with you, of course, after. So please feel free to check it out. And then it's a really, really big thank you from both of us. Thank you, Erwin, for sharing your wisdom. And thank you for joining. Let's stay connected. You can find Erwin on LinkedIn. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And we wish you a really beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.